So, we were talking about social media earlier and how it's definitely geared toward a certain generation that
Yeah.
are embedded in it, and the rest of us are kind of like trying to keep up.
Yeah.
TikTok. There are little communities all over TikTok
Yeah.
wanting to lure in, rope in children for the wrong reasons. You
Yeah.
know, they're
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
they're offering help, but it's not any help you want your child to have.
Right.
How do you think a parent should approach combating that? How could this book help to combat that?
Well, I kind of think the first thing that parents need to do, you're talking about, social media, particularly TikTok and actually Instagram. Instagram's one of the
Yeah.
worst offenders. And if you are if cognizant of that, for one thing, I was told, I'm a grandmother now. Our oldest grandson is 10
Oh,
years old.
congratulations.
Thank you. We have our number 5 is coming this year, so that's
Wow.
that's fun. So we're excited about that. But I think the first thing parents need to do is recognize the internet is not your child's friend. And a
Mm,
parent who really wants to be engaged and protect the heart of their child, which is the primary responsibility of a parent, right? I look at my
mhm,
role as a mother, and I used to tell my kids this when they were growing up. I see my role is to get you to adulthood with as little regret as possible. And I can't tell
mm,
you, Jennifer, the number of parents I talk to who say, I so wish I hadn't given my kids a phone. I so
yeah,
wish that I would have said, you know what, I know you're begging me for TikTok, but we're not doing that. Or
yeah.
I know you really want a Facebook account, but we're just not doing that. And so I think part of what my responsibility is as a mother is to be in my child's business, right? The world tells you, and the schools are telling you, oh, hey, drop your kid off at school and we'll take care of the reading, writing, and arithmetic, except for it's not
Yeah.
reading, writing, and arithmetic. It's everything but that, right? We do the same thing in the Christian community. We drop our kids off at church and we expect the youth pastor
Mhm.
to be the pastor to our teenagers and the Sunday school to do the spiritual formation of our little ones. But we know, because God's word teaches us, that responsibility falls squarely on parents. And it doesn't mean we can't get help. It means we understand that the responsibility is mine. And
Mhm.
so it's also my responsibility to get help. And I think that's part of where the message of this book is good for mothers as well as good for families, to say, hey, if you need help, ask for it. If you need help, it's okay. Like, everybody needs, very few things that I agree with Hillary Clinton ever said, but she was right when she said we're better together. We
Mhm.
are better together. We were created for
Yeah.
community. We should be living inside of community. But the trick is, especially now, how do you find a healthy community, a community that shares
Yeah.
you have a shared sense of purpose and a shared sense of value. And in the book, Mr. Mouse really finds those people. So he finds his tribe, he finds his people, and then they work in community to accomplish together what they couldn't have done if they weren't working together. So it's, to me, that's a really sweet thing. And I love the idea of just defending, and I think Brave Books has done a really good job of this, the nuclear family, right? The far left wants to tear down
Nice.
any vestige of traditionalism. I mean, heaven forbid that women and men should be different. Heaven forbid we should have different roles and different callings and different gifts and different abilities. They're trying to mesh us all into one. That's why you can identify however you want to, because we've just lost. The mooring has come unhitched, right? And so I
Mhm.
think this is part of what should be a multi-pronged approach to training a new generation to say, actually, truth matters, tradition matters. We honor tradition, we honor the things that we know are life giving, and then we get back to that with our kids.